In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how you create a success system for your serviced accommodation business. I am a very systematic type of entrepreneur. I look at things in that manner, and my strengths tests have told me that. So I like to systemize everything. I like to create a process, and then the system backs the process up, and then you have a smooth business in the main. So what you need from start to finish is technology where you can automate things. For me, that is a game changer. Now, you're never going to get rid of the human element completely. You know, we're in a hospitality business here. People still need to speak to people, and I can't see that going away anytime soon. But what you can do is you can automate a lot of the mundane tasks or the triggers that would actually give your staff more information to feed from to make the experience for the guest better. And or if we're looking at from an acquisition point of view, to be able to find more deals and speak to more landlords, speak to more owners, move that cycle through. So systems and processes are just an absolute must for your business. And if you're not improving your technological IQ, I would strongly suggest you start diving into it, because technology is not going away. It's only getting bigger and better, and that is where I feel I have an advantage, because I have invested in technology. I've invested in understanding it and understanding how it works for not only my business, but all different areas of my life, and how I can support it to automate and reduce time. So that is hugely important. So let's talk about the success system that you need to get a guest from A to B. So your guests will typically book on a website, whether that's your own or whether that's a booking channel, it doesn't really matter. The guest then needs to come into a system where they get a message which basically says, thank you for your booking, etc. So they feel like they're noted, they know they've got their booking secured, and they know who they're dealing with. From there, you want to be able to then take it through your guest management process. Now, some of these stays might not be for quite a while. Some of them could be tonight. You have to adapt and make sure your system takes care of all the different scenarios. So we use a system where we like to get guests checked in 48 hours before they arrive. So my team are constantly looking at 2 days ahead and seeing who has not completed their full check-in process, which is automated. They have to follow the steps that they are sent. And if they're not, we give them a little nudge, all the way up until their booking stay. Because if we're doing that, then we're going to get less phone calls when they are trying to check in, they haven't got their door code because they haven't done their ID verification, they haven't left their deposits, etc., etc. From there, you then want a system that then makes the guest feel like they are getting looked after during their stay. Now, it's impossible to be ringing every guest if you've got a scaling business to be saying, is everything okay? How are you getting on? Also, a lot of guests don't want that. A lot of guests might just want to be left alone. They just want to enjoy whatever they've come to the city for. Because remember, they're not here for your property. They're using your property as a base for an experience. Now, that experience could be a work experience, it could be a leisure experience, a family experience, etc. What we then want to do is make sure that they get their instructions to how to check out with ease. Again, we've got this all automated through various technologies that we link together. And then from doing that, the guest then easily checks out. They also get the option to potentially book a late checkout, which is an upsell and more revenue for us. And similarly, they get to book an early check-in before they actually stay, and again, more revenue from us. If you're not doing that, get it put into your business, because it is a good revenue stream for literally doing nothing apart from an automated message going out. What we then do is we then take the guest from where they are at the end of their stay, and we try and get more bookings back into the business. How we do that is, again, through automation, through sending them messages and informing them that they're going to be, looked after if they book again, that they'll get a better deal if they book direct. And also, as I previously spoke about in yesterday's video, they go into the marketing flow. So they will then be getting contacted regularly because we've got their data. All this goes through, and then the cycle repeats. They go back to a new booking, and then they come back through the system. Now, in the background of that is my team. My team are looking after the various different departments, but in the main, we're checking guest communication at all times. We're on top of any guest issues that are reactive. We can't plan for things like broken boilers or the lights not working or things like that. So we have to have a reactive team as well. But in the main, we try and get very proactive to make sure that we're ahead of any potential problems that might arise. And this is one of the biggest things that I see with hosts. They do not put in play proactive systems and processes. They just react. They basically go about their day, they're waiting for that guest to ring at whatever time to say something's wrong. Whereas if they're proactive, they're looking at reviews to see if the properties are going downhill or uphill in terms of the cleanliness, in terms of the maintenance, then we're proactively getting ahead of that and we're getting those fixed. That's going to make sure that we don't have a guest complain. There's so many systems and processes that you need to put into this business, but in the main, what you want to try and do is keep it as automated as possible and make sure that you can get ahead of the game. That is the biggest focus for me, because if you're just constantly reacting to stuff, then your business will crumble, you'll get burnt out, and you'll be stressed to death and you won't enjoy it anymore. But if you do the proactive systemization of your business, then you will have a successful business. And then it's a case of just plugging in more and more and more properties. You know, I often say someone could give me 100 units today, we'd probably have them set up within the next 48 hours making money. And they would just plug into our system. All we'd have to do is, you know, recruit a few more cleaners and a few more maintenance guys for that specific area, and away they would go. But we can do that after the fact. We can still start driving guests into those properties. So you want to get your business to a level where the systems and processes are pretty solid. Now, they're always changing. My systems and processes are always changing. I've got a system for the way that we acquire leads. I've got a system for the way that we speak to investors and acquire investors. I've got a system for the way we handle guests. I've got a system for the way we handle cleaners, the system for how we handle linen. There are lots of systems. There's not one size fits all for the whole business. However, in the main, you can create a system and process for the main areas in your business, which I've just mentioned there. Now, the thing with systems and processes are you can set them up and that's fine, but if they're not monitored, then they fall apart. You have to be constantly checking them. You've got to be doing mystery shopping. You've got to be testing that they're working. Technology can fail. Phone lines can go down. Internet can go off. There is some things that may happen. Systems, you might have forgot to list a property on a certain website and it's not getting any bookings. You need systems and processes to be checking, and ultimately that's how you keep on top of everything as well. And that's how your business then starts to really get some traction and flow, because you're not leaving any stone unturned. So systems need monitoring. I actually have some people with core KPIs who actually then look into the systems, and from those flags we know whether the system's working or not working. If it's not working, we'll look at a new system or a new process, or we'll just tweak what we've got going on and try and get better and better and better. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you do want any help with your systems, processes, or your business in general, head over to my website, ryankluke.com, book a call with my team, and we'll show you how to accelerate your serviced accommodation journey.